it, and if no one claims it within, however many days or weeks or whatever, then they said we'll just melt it down. Like, interesting. So like it was in a bag down by the river. Sounds like it probably needs to be investigated a little more than that, but not my job, I guess.
Yeah.
It's really
Wow.
weird.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
I guess you never know what you'll find.
Yeah. So I hope you
Mhm.
guys have never found anything like that, but
Yeah,
it's
just as another fun fact is one time we were trying to anchor near in Cincinnati near the
yeah.
stadium, and the anchor just wouldn't catch. And then we we said, okay, we're just going to quit and go somewhere else. And we pulled up the anchor, it came up with a lot of difficulty, and came up with a full bicycle.
Oh, oh my gosh.
So yeah, you never know what you'll find.
Yeah.
My
Wow.
goodness.
Good story.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to hit the road for the next 25 minutes or so. I'm going to put you on a mute and turn the camera off. So, but so if you need to respond or do something, I'll do that when I get home. Okay?
Good to have you, Israel. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. So
Just so everybody knows, Israel is the owner and captain of the houseboat that accompanied us on the first 2 weeks of our challenge this year from Huntington down to Louisville. An amazing job, and what a great donation to our project.
And welcome
Perfect.
everyone. Thanks so much for joining. I see a lot of people are still logging in, so we can give another minute or two. But if you're available to introduce yourself in the chat, maybe name and any organizations you're representing, that would be great as we wait to get started. And we were talking crazy river sweep finds while we wait. So if anyone has any other crazy stories to share, I'd be interested to hear what else has shown up in the Ohio.
We
Never
found
do
a
your
we
river
found a
sweep in
wedding
June.
dress.
A wedding dress? That's crazy. Did
Yeah,
he?
we've found all kinds of stuff. Wedding dress, bowling balls, leg hole
Wow.
traps,
Leg
training
hole
pot
traps.
training potties for kids. We've we have a little collection in our basement. So we
Wow.
figured there's a good story behind the wedding dress somewhere.
I
And
bet.
David, you're the director of the Mill Creek Alliance, correct?
Correct.
Yes. Thank you, buddy.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, it is fabulous to see everyone logging on. Let's give it another moment or so. But it is
Doug
great to see
Babcock,
you
it's
all.
good. It's great to see you from the Ohio Environmental Council. Thank you, buddy. Great to have you with us. Wow.
Yeah.
Be here, Brewster.
Yeah. And Catfish, I see, is online. Good to see you, buddy. You had a good time in that paddle, the musicians on the water, right?
Hmm.
Trying to get off mute.
Now it let me. Yeah, it was a blast.
Yeah. Before we dive into it, Catfish, that wasn't on the agenda, but you want to share what that float was?
That was just a trial float, a trial artist adrift is what we called it. So the goal was just to get artists out on the river to experience it. So we had 8 musicians from around the region. Um, None of them have even dipped their toe in the Ohio before the paddle, and we couldn't get them out of the river. Uh, it was pretty awesome. So, the goal is kind of as musicians tour around, they zigzag over the river, but they don't have any connection to it. So that was kind of the goal of it. So now when they tour around and these artists play venues up and down, the Adelphia and Marietta to Whiskey City and Lawrenceburg to bigger venues in Huntington and Pittsburgh and Cincy and Louisville. So now when they go back to these cities and towns, they're going to have just so much more of a deeper connection to the river and these communities. So that was kind of the goal. Sorry, getting over a little sinus infection here. But yeah, it was a blast, and it was just 3 days, so we didn't overdo it like the challenge. Uh, there wasn't a ton of paddling as much as you can see that pic, as much as there was just floating. Um, but it was great. So hopefully this can be something that we can utilize and do future artist adrift floats to help promo and marketing.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Catfish, for all you did to make that trip happen. And it was an absolutely magical experience. And captured some great content along the way. I know they're hopefully the Ohio River shows up more in some of the music they're making.
Absolutely. I know we got some videos and stuff, so
Yeah.
we'll be releasing those shortly. And then there'll be an hour-long special on Black Fork Radio that Casey Campbell's putting together.
Awesome. Sweet.
And Forrest, if you wouldn't mind reminding people to put their name and their organizational affiliation in the chat so everybody knows who else is in the room.
Yeah.
I guess I just did that. Okay.
Yeah, I guess you just did that. I mean, if you want me to say it again, I can. But
Great.
in any case, welcome. Let's go ahead and dive into it. We sent out the agenda ahead of time. I put it in chat, but I think it's too big of a character count. But to briefly run through it, we are going to dive into our summit, provide some updates on a variety of projects we're working on, including the travel guide, the challenge, and all of the planning efforts we have underway from a recreational infrastructure standpoint. Going to talk about some upcoming funding opportunities. That was not in the agenda we sent out, but a few things I want to flag. And we're going to have a guest presentation from Annette Schumard talking about the end of season river sweep coming up this Saturday, October 24th, and how you can be a part of it. So I'm so excited that Annette has joined us. And then as always, we would love to hear any updates from your communities and from your organizations at the end of our coalition meeting. So we'll set aside some time there and we'll stick on after the meeting as well if you want to talk longer. Perfect. Does that sound good to everybody? Sweet. Well, I will hand it off to Molly, the lead coordinator for our summit, to dive into what that looks like, what the agenda looks like, and why every single one of you should clear your schedule and be there.
Hey everyone, thanks Forrest, and thanks to everyone for joining this morning. We are excited to see and reconnect with so many of you, and I'm looking forward to hopefully reconnecting with all of you in person at our upcoming summit. So as a reminder, it is September 30th, that's a Wednesday, through October 2nd, Friday in Ironton, Ohio. So we will kick it off Wednesday night with a welcome party at the newly renovated Ironton Riverfront. So we will probably have barbecue food, live music. We'll have Voyager canoe paddles on the Ohio if you're interested. We're hoping the Queen of Clean cleaning barge will be there as well to check out. And then the next day, we have a packed day of programming. We're excited to welcome our keynote, Tori Murden McClure, who is an athlete, former university administrator, lawyer, chaplain, athlete, adventurer, really cool woman. She's the first American and the first woman to solo row the Atlantic, and she's the first American and the first woman to ski to the South Pole. She is based in Louisville and she rows on the Ohio River nearly every day. So we're excited to hear from her on about her adventures and how to find adventure on the Ohio too. We will have several panel discussions, including ones on riverfront investments and economic development, moderated by Jessica Keaton, and featuring Ashley Diekman out of Evansville, Indiana, Dennis Schnurbush II, with River Heritage Conservancy, and Will Weber out of South Bank Partners in Northern Kentucky. We will have time for committee breakouts, so we'll be able to divide and conquer and hear more relevant updates and share with our collaborators on history, conservation, tourism, and bikeway planning. We'll have lunch with our keynote, and then that afternoon we'll have a panel on regional tourism and the outdoor recreation economy with Brandy Clark, Jim Epperson, and Sarah Wickham, the state tourism director for Ohio. We'll have a state water trail designation for the state of Ohio by Director Mary Mertz of the Ohio Department of Natural Resources. And then we will break out for a lot of interesting field trips that Thursday afternoon. So we'll have the opportunity for more Voyager canoe paddles. We'll be touring an oil refinery by Marathon Petroleum Company. We'll have a tour of a barge dry docking facility. We will have a walking tour of Ironton with Marty Conley. Thank you for hosting that. Um, so a lot of great ways to get to know the tri-state area while you are in town for the summit. We'll have a dinner reception with an exclusive pre-screening and party to celebrate the official release of our new documentary project that we are co-producing with the National Park Service. And then the next day, thanks, Dave, we will have an industry ports and commerce panel moderated by Taylor Abbott, Executive Director of the Ohio River Commission. And then we'll have updates on Ohio River restoration efforts at the state, local, and federal levels as well. We'll close with a lunch, and all that to say, it's going to be a jam-packed program, and we hope that it's going to foster productive and meaningful conversation about tourism, economic development, recreation, commerce, and all the good things happening on the Ohio. And hopefully, we'll all identify new ways we can work together. So, registration is open on this webpage. And this year we're doing a pay what you can model. So this is hopefully to make the summit more accessible to everyone who's interested in attending. But I'll note our most reduced rate at $75 is open through the end of August. So a little under 2 weeks left at our reduced rate. So don't wait to register. And yeah, we're excited to see you in Ironton. Forrest, anything to add?
You're doing an incredible job putting the summit together, and I think it is an incredibly exciting program. Um, I think the only thing I would add to this is that is only what is confirmed so far. So we have sent out quite a few additional invites. Secretary Lindy Casebeer of Kentucky's Tourism, Arts, and Heritage Cabinet has told us he will be there. We expect representation from both Kentucky Transportation Cabinet and Kentucky Energy and Environment Cabinet. Today, I was talking to Director Borenton's office of ODOT in Ohio. So I think we will have a great turnout of speakers and officials, and we just want to make sure that we have a great turnout of our communities since there is this great program, albeit a bit farther away from where we've typically hosted our summits. So Ironton is near Ashland and Huntington. It's a bit more of a drive, but it will be well worth it. So we very much so hope that you will be there. So yeah, thank you. Does anyone have any questions about the summit? Is anyone here already registered? Perfect. Good. Well, we put the link in the chat. Don't wait. Go ahead and register. We would love to see every one of you there. It's going to be a great experience. Molly, is there anything else?
No?
We are still accepting sponsorships. If anyone would like to sponsor the summit. We also have space for folks to table, and we welcome governments and nonprofits to table for free, and there's a modest fee for businesses. And we would love to have all sorts of tables present as well in the lobby area. So shoot us an email or message if you'd like to have a table.
Sweet. Forrest, I will turn it over to you for updates on our travel guide.
Perfect. Our travel guide, officially, the ad sales window has closed. If there's any stragglers that would like to still get in, we can really take the content until September 1st. But we've passed our goal of $60,000. I believe we're now around $63,000 in ad sales, which will cover the cost of the printing and distribution and some of the cost of production. So we do lose money on the guide, but we're a nonprofit, and it's something we really believe in. We, with our previous edition, had 80,000 copies in 93 state parks, 18 interstate welcome centers, more than 40 river towns. Every bar that Brewster drove to got a stack of copies, state fairs, boat shows. We will be doing all of that again with the 27-28 edition, in addition to trying to do all of that in West Virginia. So previously, we only attempted distribution in Indiana, Kentucky, and Ohio. So Jessica, with our team, is doing an absolutely incredible job managing that. Not certain if Jess is on, but if you are, Jess, you're more than welcome to add anything you'd like. I don't think she is. Jess is doing a great job, though. We have started approving content and sending it out there, and we're doing our very best to make sure that all of our corridor is represented in the guide. I mean, Molly, are there any stories that stand out to you that you'd want to highlight?
Ooh, I'm really excited about a story she has on the Dark Sky Ohio chapter. So the best spots to stargaze along the Ohio River, and how to go about that and avoid light pollution and see the best night sky possible along the corridor. I think that's a fun one.
Yeah. That one. There's a very long list of events that she's covering in all the communities as well. So we'll keep you all posted on that. We anticipate that we will have it printed in quarter one of 2027. So um, folks that buy ads get a box shipped to them for free on the road and get them to everyone as well. Perfect. And next thing, I'll turn it back to you, Molly, to provide some updates on where we're at with the challenge.
Thank you. So we are excited to finish what we started and pick up where we left off on our 2026 Ohio Riverway Challenge. So if you didn't hear, this year we were planning to paddle from Huntington, Canova, West Virginia, all the way to Evansville, Indiana. Uh, I'm worried I'm cutting out. Forrest.
I hear you fine.
Okay. All right. Well, Forrest or Brewster, pick up for me if you can't hear me. We are continuing our challenge that was waylaid by storms and rain and high river levels on September 4th. We will be meeting back up in Louisville, Kentucky to paddle the remaining 189 and a half miles down to Evansville, Indiana. So we are really excited to get back on the water. We're excited for more of a wilderness expedition this time. We'll be camping on several islands. And if you're interested in supporting the challenge, we still have our Mighty Cause page open, and we're just under $3,000 away from reaching our fundraising goal of $30,000 for the Ohio Riverway Challenge. So we are tentatively planning a press event for 12 p.m. Central Time in Evansville, Indiana on Sunday, September 13th. So if you're able to make the trip down and celebrate with us as we finish up the paddling challenge, we would love to see you there. But for anyone who's new to the Ohio River Way, we do an annual canoe trip down the Ohio River to raise awareness for Ohio River recreation, tourism, and river restoration. So we rise at dawn daily, paddle anywhere from 15 to 35 miles, camp at hip campsites, Ohio River Islands, riverfront parks, private residences, and everything in between. And hoping to meet with community leaders and elected officials along the way to really highlight the importance of the Ohio River as a recreational commerce and tourism corridor. Forrest, anything to add on the challenge?
We're excited to be going downriver for the first time, and it should be a great experience. It's big because it's really the first time we have gone past Louisville, and folks have been asking us to go upriver and downriver for a very long time. And we're excited to start that process of truly engaging with the communities between Louisville and Evansville. So yeah, if anyone wants to paddle with us, drop us a line. We got space. Can fit you in for an hour or a day or 9 days if you want. So anywho, let's keep going. And dive into the recreational planning projects we have underway. So at the moment, the Ohio Riverway has 4 active planning studies, all of which are specific to our Appalachian region. And we have another 3 that are, I believe, will be funded also specific to our Appalachian region. And you've heard about some of these before, but we're going to provide updates on where we're at with each. First, I know that Sally Sharrow and Brad are here from our team that was awarded the planning funds through competitive procurement to do the bikeway planning we have between roughly Cincinnati and Huntington, West Virginia. Sally and Brad, I will turn it over to you all to provide some updates on where we're at there. And if you happen to have that interactive map ready or anything you want to share, please feel free to share that as well.
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Sally Sharrow. I'm a planner with Tool Design, and we are working with Human Nature and Tri-State Trails on this planning process that's looking at increasing bicycle connectivity and safety along about 182 miles of the Ohio River on the Ohio side. So, like Forrest said, North Bend to Chesapeake or Cincinnati to Huntington. Um, and we're analyzing, our focus is on US 52 as the main route along there, but really looking at 2 miles to the north of the Ohio River and routes within that area to understand what might be the best, safest, most comfortable route for biking along the river, as well as identifying infrastructure improvements that would need to be made to make that a truly usable regional route. Um, yes, Kristen, I like to joke that my grandfather invented the Sharrow, even though he didn't. But um, so we are currently, this is about a year-long process that we are a couple months into now, and already lots has been happening with the help of lots of our partners. So thanks to anybody who responded. We've been pulling together everything we can find as far as existing bicycle infrastructure and planned bicycle infrastructure within that corridor. And Tri-State Trails has put together a really great interactive map that we'll be updating throughout this process, showing what's there already and what have communities said that they want to do as far as improving biking along the river. And I don't have the link handy at the moment. I will get it up as soon as I finish talking. So we've pulled together all of that information, and along with other data available from ODOT and other sources. Thank you, Brad. We have started doing some analyses. So understanding how stressful is it to bike along this corridor in different locations? What are the just different assets that we can connect to and really highlight along the route to also help us understand where we might want to deviate from 52, take other routes for better comfort or safety, and started brainstorming on what this vision route is going to look like. We've done field work along the entire route to kind of understand the differences of context and roadway and land use along the route. And we are getting ready for our first advisory committee meeting. So if you got an email from us about that, we're trying to get as much engagement as possible. So our first meeting is next Monday. If you got that email and are interested in joining and haven't RSVP'd yet, please do. Or let us know if there's somebody else you'd like to recommend be included. And then we will also be at the summit with our second advisory committee meeting, getting lots of engagement there. We will also be going into our public engagement phase around October and November, really getting out in the 6 counties to talk to folks in person. And then sort of end of the year is when we'll be putting together what are the projects that need to happen and aiming for that final plan, which will include some specific project cost estimates by May of next year. So it's been great so far, getting out there, seeing the roadways, seeing what it's like currently to bike, and excited to get input from all of our partners. Brad, anything you want to add?
No, I think you covered it really well. I did go ahead and put a link to the interactive map in the chat. And one caveat, if you click the checkbox in the top of the map, it shows you just within that 2 miles from the Ohio River where we're really focusing our planning efforts. I think one takeaway just in where we're at with the map now is I was impressed at how much planning actually has been done along the corridor, and it was good to kind of identify a couple gaps in where there has not been planning, and so we're excited to continue working with these communities and really think about what the vision of this corridor is and how we can improve the bike infrastructure along the way.
Perfect. I mean, I just think you all are doing absolutely incredible work, and I'm so grateful that we are partnered with you all in this. So thank you both, Sally and Brad. And I know this particular planning study is specific to Ohio, but we are looking for how we can expand this to Kentucky and Indiana and elsewhere in our geography as well. And we view this as a model that we will duplicate elsewhere. And that map will continue to be owned by the Ohio Riverway after this project. And I would like to see all of that data for our entire corridor plugged into there, not just in Ohio. But but thank you, Brad and Sally. If you're along the corridor, come to the meeting on Monday. If you're along US 52, and we'll also have more at the summit. Perfect. I will share a couple more things. We have, in partnership with the Kentucky Ohio River Regional Recreation Authority, we have been working with the Army Corps of Engineers based out of Huntington on a $197,000 recreational gap analysis specific to Bracken, Mason, Lewis, Greenup, and Boyd counties, Kentucky. That study is underway. They've completed their site visits. They're currently developing a list of priority projects to fund focused on water recreation. And that will go through the winter. And then in the spring, they will have public engagement opportunities. But again, we're very grateful for our partnership with the Corps there. And the Corps is interested in duplicating that elsewhere, particularly in Kentucky, for the Kentucky Ohio River Regional Recreation Authority. I will add an update on CORA, the Kentucky Ohio River Regional Recreation Authority. The board met yesterday. They have had a change in the board members. Lewis, Hardin, and Meade counties have been added to CORA's voting board. The interim chair now is Judge Moore of Boone County. And as we've shared, that we helped secure a $200,000 appropriation for CORA in this past legislative session in Kentucky, and CORA is figuring out what direction to take for its future. But excited that there is renewed momentum there after yesterday's board meeting. Molly, I know Stephen couldn't make it. Would you like to provide a quick update on where we're at with our land conservation study at the moment?
Sure. So we are excited to have kicked off our first official active conservation project. So on a grant funded through the Open Spaces Institute, we have hired a student intern, Stephen Balco from Marshall University, to help us develop a land conservation plan for the Appalachian portion of the Ohio Riverway. So between the Big Sandy River and Ohio Brush Creek, on both sides of the river, Stephen will be evaluating different GIS data sets to evaluate potential areas for future conservation. So if certain parcels of land have high biodiversity or might lead to connectivity with other preserved wildlands, that might be what sort of leads Stephen to believe it's a good candidate for conservation. So we have a year to complete this project, and we are excited to be working with him. He's been a part of the Ohio Riverway Challenge and our floating laboratory in the past. And yeah, we'll be reaching out to our community partners in that neck of the woods in the coming next few months to fill you all in and to hopefully get involved with some public outreach and engagement to hear what residents think about this sort of thing as well.
Perfect. Yeah, we're very excited for that. Very different style of planning study, but one part of the broader conversation of how do we make our corridor a greenway, right? It's going to take trails and conserved wildlands and lands that are conserved for public access. So one more ongoing planning study, which actually just kicked off this Monday. So we have, is Jason Reeser on? I think I saw Jason earlier. Earlier this year, hey Jason,
Hello.
how are you doing?
Great. How's it going?
Great. So we wouldn't be having this conversation if it weren't for you. Yeah, well, earlier this year, we collaborated with the other Cora, the first Cora, the Cincinnati Off-Road Alliance, on an application to AmeriCorps nationally to create an army of people building natural surface trails along the Ohio River. That was not funded. At the same time, we went to the state of Ohio and requested planning funds to do the exact same thing in Ohio. That was funded. So this is a 12-month planning process to develop the concept of an Ohio River Corps, which would be a workforce development initiative where we train folks to go out and build and maintain natural surface trails along the Ohio River. And they are teeing us up specifically to go after operational funds at the start of next year. I think this is something we can replicate elsewhere in our corridor. I think we can take this planning and use it in Kentucky or in West Virginia or in Indiana. But we're working on it right now in Ohio. Jason, is there anything else you'd like to share on this vision and the conversations we had forever ago?
Yeah, no, thanks for bringing up. Yeah, this was back in the spring that we put out these applications, but a lot of the concepts that we have are basically around giving some employable skills to people and also just sharing that knowledge base. A lot of towns, a lot of people kind of think like, well, we'll just have Public Works go out and mow a trail and or some Boy Scouts, and a lot of those trails kind of get washed out or can cause some environmental damage. So we look to share the wealth of information and do some on-the-job training through AmeriCorps and possibly with other partners like Life Learning Center and throughout the corridor, the possibility of having other partners that bring people that need some of these skills or could benefit to learn about how to build sustainable multi-use natural surface trails. So looking forward to trying to develop this idea further and hopefully get some more funding behind getting it going.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I'm very, very excited about this concept, and hopeful that it's a direction that works out for us. What we have learned is that AmeriCorps is the most complicated funding stream we've ever looked at in terms of the compliance and the reporting requirements, and it is bespoke in a number of ways. At the same time, all of the staff from AmeriCorps programs we worked with have been incredible to work with. So they really are working to make sure that their partners succeed. So you all will hear that we are hiring someone part-time to do this planning. So we will blast that out and please share with anyone you think would be competent. We are primarily looking for someone with experience managing public funds. Ideally AmeriCorps funds, ideally federal funds, but any experience managing public funds, and it will be a half-time role. A passion for trails would be great too. All right. Two more things in the works. These are not funded, but things that have submitted that I want to share. We submitted a $500,000 application to the Appalachian Regional Commission, a RISE program. This would fund bikeway planning in Kentucky, Lewis, Granite, and Boyd counties. Exactly what we did in Ohio and Kentucky. It would fund a recreational gap analysis in Ohio, exactly what we've done in Kentucky with the Corps, just in Ohio. And that would be Claremont, Brown, Adams, Scioto, and Lawrence counties. And then it would fund, relevant to the entire corridor, market research on how to best position your community and our corridor as a whole as a destination for recreation. So I think that's incredibly impactful if it gets funded. Thank you to everyone that helped support that. And we will keep you all posted on what happens there. We passed the pre-application phase. Most applications get funded at this point, and I know that our reviewer has recommended us and sent us on to the legal team at the ARC. So I'm just hoping there are no issues and that we have good news to share soon. Knock on wood. Another thing that is pending, Dr. Call, our friend and partner from Blueprint Kentucky at the University of Kentucky, you all have put in an exciting opportunity that we were proud to support. Could you share a little bit more on that?
We've put in a proposal. The USDA has some funds under the National Institute for Food and Agriculture that's really dedicated to student engagement around communities and community economic development. And so we've received funding in the past from this kind of arm of funding. However, it's become very competitive. So we're not certain about the outcome of this. But in the spring, we submitted a proposal that helps support the kind of connection of student young UK and Georgetown and EKU and Kentucky State University students with background in community planning or community economic development or engagement to work with a county or community along the Ohio River Way in the next 5 years. And so we're hoping for some support. Historically, we've done this. This last year, we were really fortunate to be able to work with the Boone County Conservation and the Boone Conservancy, two outstanding organizations that helped kind of sponsor and facilitate student involvement. That was in Boone County, of course, and prior to that, we worked in Trimble County the year preceding that. Again, just on projects that typically look at or help communities think about wayfinding, tourism, community design as it relates to utilizing their natural resource assets. So we'll see. Our fingers are crossed that we'll be able to do this for another 5 summers.
Ours are too. I mean, the students' work has been incredible, and I know it's already led to results in many of the communities where they've been. So let's hope it continues.
Yeah, so let me just share. Trimble County has noted that they've had over $1 million in grants funded that incorporate elements of that student planning. And so a lot of times it's just really having some ideas on paper, a little bit of background and design about how it might work. We do try to be as inclusive with communities throughout that design process so that it's very engaging. But yeah, I think it can be very valuable.
Thank you so much, Dan. Perfect. All right, one last thing before I hand it over to Annette. If you are a community looking for funding opportunities, this is the moment. Our bikeway planning in Ohio is primarily funded through transportation alternatives, which is federal funding that flows through the states or through the metropolitan planning organizations, the MPOs. The state opportunities for transportation alternatives funding are upcoming in Indiana, Kentucky, and Ohio all this fall. These are statewide opportunities that all communities are eligible for, even if they're already in an MPO. The Recreational Trails Program, which is a subset of TA funding, will come open this fall in Indiana and Kentucky. Ohio already did it in the spring. Here are the links to all of these programs. We would be, if you have ideas, I'd love to talk about them more. What might make sense, what we've heard, if there's a way to take one project and make it regional to make it more competitive, love to talk through those ideas. What I'll flag is TA funding needs to be framed as active transportation, not infrastructure, whereas recreational trail program, that absolutely can be recreational. In particular, in Kentucky, the reviewer, well, pardon me, one of the reviewers of the RTP program pointed out the program to due October 30th and said they would like to see something waterway focused, such as ADA accessible launches. As a 501c3 in Kentucky, we are not eligible. That's not a federal requirement, that's a state requirement. I wish that were not the case, but we're not. So we can't go submit this ask, but we would love to work with communities and support the notion of on-water infrastructure, particularly ADA accessible launch points through RTP. So we'd love to talk about that more. I don't know how often a reviewer says, we want to see this very niche thing submitted, please submit it. So to our Kentucky folks, please keep that in mind. All right. Any questions on any of those funding opportunities? TA and RTP are great opportunities, and I just hope to see more money flowing through them to our communities. Right. Perfect. And with that, Annette Schumard is one of the Ohio Riverways board members. She is the Director of Communications and Outreach at ORSANCO and also the Director of the Foundation for Ohio River Education. And she and her team lead the River Sweep program, including a end of season river sweep that is happening this Saturday, October 24th. Annette, I will go ahead and pass it on to you to share more about that and how communities can be a part of it.
Thank you, Forrest, and thank you for the introduction. Can you guys hear me okay? Awesome. Thank you so much. I do want to say
Yes.
it's not this Saturday. So
Sorry.
you've said a couple
No, the
times this
24th.
Saturday, and I don't want people like showing up this Saturday. It's yeah, Saturday, October 24th. And that's why I'm here today. Thank you so much for this time in your meeting. I'm here to rally our river enthusiasts for our final Ohio River Sweep litter cleanup event, like Boris said. It's going to be held Saturday, October 24th. And our goal this year is pretty ambitious. We want to build on that success from last year. If you were involved last year, thank you so much. It was a wild success. It was in conjunction with the America's River Roots Festival. So it was really big all along the river. And even though we don't have the festival here this year, we want to continue that success. So we're hoping that you will join our cause and host a site in your community. Last year, we had 12 local sites in the greater Cincinnati area and 8 additional river-wide locations. We had 409 volunteers. We collected 980 of trash, which was about 17 tons. And 231 tires were removed. That's a big deal and an impact and so we want to do that again. We already have some Rotary clubs, Natty, just that we'd like out to you guys today and asking you to help us fill that gap. Think about your community. This is the shirt for this year. I don't know if you can see it. It was designed by the Cincinnati Art Academy students, and they did a really great job with a sauger-like fish on the front and a trash bag. You'll get your commemorative t-shirt if you join the cause. We'd love to send it to you. The sites don't have to be huge. This can be 5 people, this can be 20 people, it can be 100 people, whatever you're comfortable with. The important thing to us and our main goal is having communities all along the river, again, participating together on this like one-day coordinated event. We try to make it as easy as possible. ORSANCO handles online registration, provide all cleanup supplies. Just need local hosts bringing their knowledge, help like us identify good cleanup locations in your local area, and help bring volunteers together in your communities. We will do the promotion. So some people, if it's a public site, they will sign up. You don't have to recruit all your volunteers. People, it could be 100 people. I'm putting 2 links in the chat right now. One is our site coordinator. Click register to host a cleanup location for us. We're asking all site coordinators in October, on October 24th. So I apologize for the late notice, but this is happening really quickly. So if you're ready to go to day, few people together. You can't coordinator, you can't volunteer that day, you're just busy that day. We still would love to have you help us spread the word and connect us with some people in your community who can. So if you very much, the Ohio Riverway Coalition has an incredible network of communities all along the river, and we believe we can have a true river-wide day of action and finish this year's sweep season in a really powerful way. So thank you so much. I really appreciate are there any questions, first of all? Any quick questions? I don't want to take up too much time. Okay, good. I hope you guys can sign up today. We'd love to see you there. I think Forrest and Molly are going to have a location maybe, so you can keep your eye out for that if you want to register for those sites that they're, yeah.
And for uninitiated what exact gear there is and what happens with the
Sure.
trash.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really laid back. I mean, this is just a simple way for us to group in your community together. Like I said, it could be five, it could be 100. It all looks different throughout the season, but all of them make just as big of an impact as the other. We will send you supplies such as gloves, trash bags, and your t-shirts. If you need help picking the location, we can help you with that. But a lot of people already come with a location they know in their community and love and have done them before or are trying something new. But we can help pick locations if you need to. And, bring some hand sanitizer. You wear some boots, some closed-toed shoes. You get out along the river or one of our tributaries and help pick up some of that annoying trash we've seen along the river. It's usually like nowadays it's different. So usually we see a lot of one-time use plastic, like water bottles, pop bottles. There's not a lot of huge appliances and things that we take care of so much anymore, unless we get Rick Jensen out there on his boat, which I don't see him here today. I was going to try to corner him, but typically it's just going along the river with a trash bag, or we can send kayak. We have these paddle mesh bags from the onion bag collection, and then also we get potato sacks. So like we can send those for people on their kayaks and canoes that want to collect trash as well. But that's what it looks like. And it's fun. It's a lot of fun. It brings us all together, and it's a way that we can help, steward our river and take care of it. Any other questions?
Well, if I could add, Annette, thanks so much for all you guys do every year in, year out. It would be great if folks who know they are planning at least on having a cleanup that day could put that information in the chat. So if you could say, hey, I'm so-and-so with so-and-so organization, and we do in fact plan to have a cleanup the 24th of October, that would be helpful so that you can get some immediate feedback and we can create some momentum around this.
Thank
So
you
how
so
about that,
much.
folks? Is that okay for us if we ask people to put their name and organization
Yes,
affiliation and
absolutely.
where they are if they plan? This is not a super heavy duty commitment, just a way to test. Hey, can we get everybody, as many people as possible, to say, yeah, I'm in? And again, as Annette said, even if it's 5, 10, 20 people, we can still make a huge difference. And keep in mind, with the river being so volatile this summer, it's amazing. I mean, in Cincinnati, it's going to be 42 feet tonight.
That's a really good point, Brewster. Thank you for
And pool
saying that.
stage, yeah,
Yeah,
pool
it's
stage
going to
is
come down.
26. So we have a
Yeah,
giant increase in river height. Uh, and that just means that more stuff is coming downstream,
it is. Yeah.
right? That we have to clean up and should clean up to make the last phase of the recreational season after October 24th as beautiful as we possibly can for people who want to recreate. So let's do it. And there's a super need, more than as a rule, correct, Annette? Given the high water in the middle of the summer, which is very unusual.
It is very unusual, and thank you for bringing that up again. I really appreciate it. So by the end of October, it might be a little bit cooler, but that water will be down, and we can ideally get out there and clean some of this up, like you said, and do our part. But I did want to also mention, if people can't do an event that day but still want to do an event, you can still go through our traditional form. And so you can get there through the link that I sent you. You can do an event any day throughout the basin on any tributary or the Ohio River. We'll send supplies. We're just trying to rally everyone together around this October 24th event and close out our season. Even if it's after the season, we still send supplies to a couple people. So we don't turn anyone away. But
And
I
as
did
we
want
just
to say something before I go. Two things. We love including the guidebook, your printed book, your travel book in our sweep order. So if that's still a thing you guys want to do, please provide us with those and we'd be happy to put them in our sweep orders. People like them and they use them from what I hear. And then also, Brewster, are you keeping the stash off ever since you shaved it for the fundraiser? Is it just not coming back?
at the moment, at least, yeah, I shaved it for charity for Adventure Crew. So yeah, whatever.
We're leaving it off. Okay. Well, maybe you can bring it back for the 24th. Like
Oh my
maybe
gosh.
you and the stash can show up for the event and we can rally around the stash too.
All right, and just
Thanks,
just a
guys.
reminder that you will have, or we will, with your help, we'll have all the supplies available at the summit on the 30th of September, 1st and 2nd of October in Ironton, so people can pick up their t-shirts, gloves, and trash bags. Correct?
I
at
was
the
thinking
summit.
we were bringing some in case last minute people wanted to sign up at the summit. If anybody signs up today, we'll get them shipped to you. But
Excellent.
if you can't and you're just like you can't even think about it, but you come to the summit and you change your mind, yes, there will be supplies there. Thank you, Brewster.
Thank you. Great job. Thank you so much for what you do. But so please put
So,
in the chat if your community plans to do a cleanup that day or another day in the fall. Thank you.
yeah.
And
Do
if I could jump in real quick, um,
Hi,
excuse me.
Susan.
Hi, Annette. Thank you for organizing the sweeps. That's an amazing program. And I'd like to add, if anyone is out doing cleanups, and or are just by a waterway along the Ohio, you can track any tires that you find through Kentucky Waterways Alliance tire tracking tool. Even if you pick up the tire, you can put that note into the tool so that we know that it's been picked up. Kentucky Waterways Alliance is over the past year has worked on this tire tracking tool as an aid to help us have accurate research about tire pollution in our waterways, and that will contribute to our policy work to prevent and support programs that prevent tire pollution. I'll put the tool in the chat in a minute, but I also want to say thank you to the Ohio Riverway Challenge paddlers for using the tool on their paddle earlier this year. They're going to continue using it on the last section in September. And we have a wonderful report that Molly worked on with the KWA team and Josie, who was one of the intern paddlers. And we've got a great report about their findings during the first part of the paddle. So that also is on our tire page. So I'll send that out, but it's just a great way to help us learn more about tire pollution. So thanks so much.
Also, can I just ask another question? Do we have like a published or a list of which stretches of the river miles are covered for this sweep, so we know which ones are not? So if they're planning some groups, they can pick one that's not covered.
We are working on a map. We have a
Okay.
few locations on a map right now, but it just wasn't worth sharing today. I'm trying to
Okay.
rally
Okay.
some more people. But yes, I can share that with Molly, Forrest, Brewster,
Okay.
and we'll get that posted on our website. And that's a great idea, and we
Great.
are
Great.
working on it. Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah. Thanks.
Well, thank you both. Susan, it was a pleasure working with KW in that process, and we look forward to putting more reports in there, that we don't look forward to seeing more tires.
Right.
And Annette, I'm so grateful for all that you do, and let's make sure every Ohio Riverway community is doing a river sweep event.
Hey, Forrest, can you hear me? No.
Yes.
Mike Miller?
Pardon me, who is that?
Mike Miller?
Yes, I can hear you just barely, Mike.
Oh, okay. Well, we have a tire cleanup and a cleanup on the Mill Creek in October, led by Greg Bechtel and the Mill Creek Alliance. So we've taken 1,500 tires out in Octobers in the past 5 years, about 400 a year. Most of the tires that we collect are antique. They're predated, meaning they're pre-2000. They're being eroded out of the bags. So there's a continual supply at low water in October. And so we'll be out there in October cleaning up the Mill Creek. We'll try and coalesce at the mouth maybe on the 24th. So we can, most of our cleanups are coordinated land and canoe. But just to let you know that we'll be out there cleaning up a tributary at the same time. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you,
'cause
Mike.
Hey, Forrest,
Go
I was
ahead.
just going to say, I actually just now put a link in the chat to our webpage about that cleanup if people want to take a look at that and join in.
Yeah, that's awesome. And for anyone that couldn't hear Mike, he said over the last few years they've picked up 1,500 tires, I believe it was, from the Mill Creek. in October's, and there's another event not this October. So perfect. Thank you, Dave and Mike. Awesome. Well, we have reached the best part of our coalition meetings, the water cooler conversation, trademarked by the Ohio River Way. If anyone would like to kick it off, this is an opportunity to share updates from your communities, any other events, any other things you think other river communities could hear about, things you're excited about, concerned about. I will hand it off to you all. Mike, you hosted your first Paddle Fest. How'd that go?
Oh, hey, yeah. Thanks for the cue. I'm on the board of the Greendale Main Street organization here in the city of Greendale. We're Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky. The nexus of those three states is where we're located. And last couple weekends ago, Forrest came down and we had a first Main Street paddling event on Tanner's Creek, just near the Ohio River confluence. And we had about 25 people show up, which is kind of what we were aiming for. I didn't want it to be too big for a first time event, but we got a nice big full page spread in our local paper and some other local media coverage. And, as we're trying to build a little bit more of a visible paddling culture in Dearborn County in Southeast Indiana, I think a little event like that can go a long way. So year one was a success, and thanks to Forrest for attending. Thanks for the Ohio Riverway for helping promote it, and we're hopeful we'll do it again next year.
It was a lot of fun. Do you have any advice for someone that might be curious about starting their own paddling event from scratch?
Talked to Brewster. Brewster was helpful, gave us some helpful insights. Of course, he knows how to do much bigger paddling events than what we had. Brewster's setting world records. We're just getting started here in Greendale, but
Wait,
Brewster had some good advice for us as first-time paddling event coordinators.
yeah, Brewster, didn't you have a paddling event or something? I forget, what
Yeah,
was it?
I'm excited to officially announce, and you may all have heard about this, but the Adventure Cruise annual Ohio River Paddle Fest, our 25th annual, was held the 1st of August in Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky, and we set a new Guinness Book of World Records. We had 1,440 people on the Ohio all at the same time for 15 minutes. That was the threshold, and Guinness sent their official representative from Mexico City to certify the count. Everybody had a digital wristband, so it was all high-tech counting. And we were excited in the middle of a rainstorm, a thunderstorm even, where we had to get everybody off the river for 45 minutes. We still set the new world record. So it's on the Ohio. So the Ohio River has the new world record for the number of people paddling together on the same body of water from point A to point B in the world. There may be bigger events, but they didn't get certified by Guinness. So it's a nice feather in the cap for all of us on the Ohio to claim the world record for a paddling event, and hopefully that'll stimulate others along the corridor. So thank you, Forrest.
Yeah, that was an incredible event.
I'd be happy to share two other upcoming events. First, there is a brand new event called the Pain Hollow Symposium that is going to be focused on Pain Hollow on the Ohio and Harlan and Anna Hubbard and their legacy. It's going to be held at Hanover College, October 9th through 11th. It's extremely affordable. It's going to be 3 days of just incredible events and art and music. Jessica Whitehead, who is the author of Driftwood, the biography of Harlan Hubbard, has been coordinating it along with the board at Pain Hollow. In addition to a variety of sessions, there will be performance in the recital hall of a classical music piece that was inspired by Pain Hollow. And then Will Oldham, also known as Bonnie Prince Billy, is going to be performing at the end of the event as well. And that's included in the price. So we hope folks will consider joining us. I put the link in the chat. And then the other event that I wanted to mention is Kentucky Waterways Alliance annual summit. We have a Kentucky Watershed Network Summit, and that will be October 14th and 15th at Berea College. It also is an extremely affordable event with some amazing sessions and opportunities to network. This is as much for professionals as local community watershed volunteers. So I also put the link to that in the chat. So thanks, everybody. Lots of great opportunities.
Thank you so much, Susan.
Forrest, Bob Reed.
Yes.
Just thinking about the debris and just even in my own mind, picturing it. And of course, I live in Richmond on the river. And I wonder if, as you look forward, to different projects moving forward, where High River Way would be a development of a grant and a program to remind people that plastic bottle that they threw out of their car window ends up into a small creek and it ends up in the Ohio River. And I'll bet you that the visuals that we have from the cleanups of the amount, and the impact that it has on, aquatic life and, and all the other problems that it causes, what might be something to look at in the future. Something clearly that the news media would need to cover, but also, exposure to different groups that not just groups but TV stations and all to get that word out. That I don't think we do enough of that actually.
Yeah, that's a very interesting point, Bob. I know ORSANCO does more basin-wide efforts, as do our partners at the Ohio River Basin Alliance. And Molly, do you have any news on the Ohio River Basin Proud campaign? It's not quite what you were describing, Bob, but I think it's the most similar thing out there right now.
Sure. So, Ohio River Basin Alliance, I think this campaign has wrapped for the season. However, I know there's extra supplies, and if you're interested in engaging with this, they would be happy to help facilitate. But essentially, it's a campaign to help raise awareness for being in the Ohio River watershed. So, when a lot of people think of the river, right, we think of the main stem, but we can't look at the main stem without all the tributaries that are feeding into it for better or for worse. So, Ohio River Basin Alliance, it's another coalition focused on helping get federal restoration efforts or investments in our basin. Ran this campaign. They would provide event hosts with stickers and dry bags and different promotional materials and some talking points. So if you're already hosting an event like a river sweep or a paddling event or even a water-related conference, you could work with Ohio River Basin Alliance to co-brand your event with this campaign called Ohio River Basin Proud. Just working towards trying to raise more awareness for what we do on the tribs will impact everyone downstream of us. So, Bob, I think I have your email somewhere, and if that's would be of interest to you, I can follow up later with more information.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, ORSANCO has great materials too. And this is my water bottle with too many stickers, but it won't show up. They've done I Heart Ohio River Basin, with the heart being the shape of the basin, which I don't know. They're cute.
For
Yes.
This is Larry Brandstetter. We talked the other day on the phone.
Yes. Yes. How are you, Larry?
I'm part of the historic Licking Riverside Community Association, which is in Covington. We're right on the river. And we are working on a project in conjunction with the city of Covington and Kenton County on some damaging things that are happening at the Licking River and on the Ohio. We've done some slope stabilization on the Ohio River right in front of us. And then, but there's some very bad erosion and earth slides up the Licking River that's starting to affect some of those private properties up through there. And it goes all the way to 8th Street. So we've gotten a lot of interest from the city and the county. And now we're going to work with, I got a commitment from hopefully Senator Andy Barr's office to help us with this. And it's going to take a lot of coordination. But historically, when the dams were built at Parkland and upriver, the Corps let more water come to Cincinnati. It used to be I think somebody might remember the pool stage used to be lower than it is now. That's because the dams are higher. And what that's done is that's forced more water up the Licking. And with the barges that go up and down there, we're getting some serious damage. So we're going to be applying for some grants. Hopefully, we'll get some planning money. If anybody has any suggestions about grant programs, especially of the nonprofit variety, we would entertain knowing about it. And if we do apply for some things, we would like the support of Ohio Riverway, like you and I talked about the other day.
Perfect. Thank you for that update, Larry. I mean, keep us in the loop, and however we can help, please let us know.
All right.
Rick, I see your hand.
I'd like to congratulate the staff on going after all these grants. It really is a great way to support our overhead, because every time we get one of these, we got a little money in for our current staff to keep them gainfully employed, which is the biggest challenge for nonprofits. And we've got a great success rate going so far here. So good work. I'd like to sign up for the grant that's going to look at how to market the tourism assets of the Ohio River.
Okay.
Sign me up to be a part of that, because this is a great opportunity to really get laser focused on all our different audiences, all the different metro areas that are near the river, what our greatest assets are that we can really have some success with early on. So, because we're never going to have money to market to every target audience. So who are we really going to go after to get this ball rolling? So sign me up.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for flagging that, Rick, and for all of your support as a board member over the last 25 years. With that marketing grant, it would be around $110,000 that would be putting out to a competitive bid. We'll put you on the core project team if that is funded, and we could use help shaping what that RFP looks like. That will be the biggest task from the start, is what are the actual details we want to see and what they do.
Yeah, be happy to do that.
Perfect. Thank you.
Hey, Forrest, I just want to make a quick comment regarding the logistics of your summit coming up in Ironton.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned that was a little bit further away than normal. Well, I grew up in Ashland, Kentucky. So I've been making that drive up the AA highway now for 30 years. It's 2 hours, easy peasy. I don't want to hear any excuses about you can't make the trip. So super easy drive. I will say too that it's a different part of the world. And if you haven't experienced Southeast Ohio, Northeast Kentucky, I would certainly encourage you to do it. And y'all should be lucky that I actually said I'm from Ashland. Heaven forbid somebody think I graduated from Paul Blazer High School. But no, sir, Boyd County High School right here, as well as a Marshall University graduate. So I plan on making the summit. So I just want to let everybody know it's an easy drive. So no excuses.
That's great, Matt. Thank you so much. Love it.
Perfect. So thank you, Matt. All right. Any other news? Any other updates? Chris, how are things in Newburgh? Have you been on one of these calls before? Would you like to introduce yourself?
Myself, it's been a while. I've been on one a while back. It's going well. I mean, been on my river my whole life, and this is, I think, the highest I've seen it in August. We recently got a new boat dock, and we've gotten a lot of practice of taking it in and out this year from our boat ramp, and trying to control some of the invasive stuff that's along the riverbank. It's been a challenge with the water coming up and down. It seems like some of the mitigation that we've done has really not taken hold. So that's been some challenges, but we're looking forward to seeing you all, I believe, on the 12th of September. And I'll send you some emails on that when you canoe down, and we'll have everything ready to go. That's up high enough that I don't think it'll get flooded. But no, it's going well. We have a lot of events along the river. We just celebrated we did the big 250 celebration on July 3rd. Had about 20,000 people down at the old Lock and Dam area we had a parade through town and we had a fireworks and stuff like that. So we're trying to engage more on the river. We have our cleanup set, our second cleanup with the shirts and everything on July or October 3rd. That's a Saturday, so hopefully everything will be down by then and dry, and we'll get it picked back up again and just keep motoring on, working with our partners with EREF and some of the other regional ones down at this end of the river, and just moving forward. We're doing some work on our trail currently to repair some damage from the floods last April. We found a void back behind a cement wall that supported part of a outcropping from our trail. So they've got that all tore up right now, but we're putting it back to where it'll be resilient and be able to handle the next one.
Well, it's like y'all got a lot going on. But we are very excited to be there on the 12th. That'll be our first time camping in Newburgh as part of the challenge, and we're very excited to be there. We'll have a big Mediterranean feast that night if anyone wants to join.
Hey, Faris, I see that Kendall Miller is on from Rising Sun, and she has the biggest catfishing tournament in America coming up. Is that right, Kendall? She's on mute. Well, regardless, it is the biggest catfishing tournament in America. It's kind of cool they do that. So if you're interested, check out their website. At least in the US, she says, yeah. Not in the world, I guess the US. So thank you, Kendall.
Perfect. Vic, are there any updates from the refuge?
Well, thanks for asking, Forrest. I guess one thing that everybody might take comfort in is that we have been working on plugging orphaned oil wells on Muskingum Island, just a little ways downstream from our office here in Williamstown, West Virginia. And of 13 orphan wells on that island, so far 12 of them are plugged. They were about to start work on the last one, and this last storm that came through, they were working on the wells that were in the river. 5 of the wells were actually in the river. They originally were on the island. The island eroded away, left the oil pipe and sticking out of the river, and so they were working on the last one of those, and the river levels kind of ran them off for a little while. They're going to have to come back and get that last one. But 12 of 13 are plugged, so y'all can rest easy that you'll have a little cleaner water coming down your way.
Oh, we appreciate that very much, Vic. Especially with Brewster's Swim coming up.
Which is Sunday, the 30th of August in Cincinnati, the 19th annual Great Ohio River Swim. And hopefully we'll be able to get it done, given the water level. So come on down.
But I mean, that's incredible work. I mean, it's incredible to hear what you all are doing there. Jim, I saw your hand up a moment ago.
Hey, Forrest, how you doing? Great. It's a really, really good meeting. Quick question about the summit. Does it go through to Perry County? I mean, you make a stop in Perry County, around Tell City, or on
the challenge?
On the challenge? Yeah, challenge.
Yes. So we will be. I can hear myself. It's going to be hard to talk. We will stay in Rome, which I believe is in Perry County.
Oh, okay.
We will also stay at a campsite near Deer Creek, near the Blue Heron Winery, and I think that is Perry County as well.
I think so. Yeah. Okay. I appreciate it.
So
I'll look forward. Good.
I'll put the float plan in the chat in case you want to join any of these days.
Okay, great. Appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Perfect. Eric, are you going to be paddling with us?
That's the plan. So, yeah, I'm gonna get in there. I guess in Kentucky somewhere on Labor Day.
Okay.
We kind of went road tripping there a few weeks ago and just tried to find it. So you have to drop me a pin. I couldn't find it. But yeah, I have to. I'll spend the all right. I'll spend the night in Rome with you guys too, and then paddle on to. I think we're gonna stop in Derby and then go to.
Yeah.
I got those backwards, but anyways, and I have to go in that Wednesday night. I have to be at my board meeting 8:30 on Thursday morning, so I'll have to. I won't get to paddle the whole length of the river, but looking forward to it. So.
But you'll join us the evening of the 7th at the campsite.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, perfect. Good. We'll make sure that's in our notes and we'll follow up. If you are free to join, we'll have a call with more details on, I believe it's this coming Monday.
Okay.
If you can join, great, no worries. If not, we'll get the invite to you, and that covers some of the details of what camping with us looks like.
Perfect.
Perfect. Well, anything else for the good of the order?
This is Karen Schwartz. Make sure you don't miss all that history at Morgan's Landing when you come through there.
Okay.
Morgan across the river. That's a big deal. There's only 2 battles north of the Mason-Dixon line during the Civil War, and that's where one of them, that's where they transported across.
Okay. Well, we will keep an eye out for it and make sure we don't miss it. Perfect. Well, thank you all so much. We will let you get to your Thursday, but as always, please do not hesitate to call us or email us or send a carrier pigeon our way if there's anything we can do for you or anything you'd like to talk about at all. So.